Hello everyone, welcome to SAP Technomania. In my last video, I have explained about the having clause. In my this video, we will see union with different examples. So, if you already watched my last video, you already aware about the select query. So, in this select query, what we are doing, we are getting the data from the sales order table and customer table. We are displaying in the output for particular customer what all are the how many sales orders are there, the number of sales order, what is the total net amount for those sales order, what is the average of that, what was the maximum amount out of those sales order, and what is the minimum amount of this sales order. In my last video, I have showed you how we can filter out further this particular grouped data using the having clause. We already grouped with the wherever the net price. Let me remove this one. I explained this in my last video. So let me clear out this console. So what it is doing after the getting the data, all the customer which is having the total net amount is greater than 10,000, those customer only displayed. Other customers didn't display it like this, as you can see in the result. If I do F9, only those customers are displayed which is having the total net price greater than 10,000. Other customers are not displaying here. So now my requirement is that is okay. I want to display like this, but I want to display all the customers, but I want to see, instead of seeing each and every number here, I want to display like some semantically rich data. I want to display these are the customer is a higher amount sales order. This one field I want to add. So for that I can use literal. So what I can do, instead of saying that it is greater than 10,000, how the user will know? So I have to make it semantically rich. So I can tell like this is higher amount SOs, higher amount customer, or important customer, we can say. That will be correct thing. Important customer, like that thing. And we can display this thing. We have created literal. We can display this thing as a category of customer. Like that I can display in the output. Okay, let me display Control F3. This is the one category I am displaying. Instead of simply displaying, let me clear out the console. Same result we will get, but we will get one additional literal in the output, which is saying that it is important customer. I think there is something wrong. Okay, I got the result. What is this? Okay, I did F8, I think so. Let me do F9. So I got the result, and it is saying all the customers are important customer. Now I want to display the important customer. I want to display all other customer as well, but I am saying not important, other customer, like that. But in the same data I want to display. So how we can do? I want to display this customer as well. With the customer is amount is greater than 10,000, I want to display in the output with the which is having the 10,000 less than. One thing what I can do, I can write same select query like this. I can copy this one, Control C and Control V, and append to in the same data. Append all data in the result where the less than 10,000, and I can write the less customer like this. I just want to show you guys. Control C and Control V, and what I can do, instead of into table appending I think there's something appending or I can remove because it's already declared. So I can do inline declaration. So I can, but instead of greater than 10,000, I can write like this. less than 10,000, and I can write other customer. Control F3. Let me clear out the console and let me do F9. Now we are displaying the important customer as well and other customer as well, which is having the amount less than 10,000. But in this case, you can see we are hitting the database 2 times. It's not good to hit multiple times the database. As I already explained in my SQL rules, that we have to hit one time and we have to get all the data as much as possible, which we can get using the one time. Since the database is powerful, we can do a lot of things there. So that is the reason SAP came up with the union, something called the union. So in this case, so when you have to union, that is one hint. Just we can say whenever we are using appending table, then we can use the union. Because what is the prerequisite to use the union? This is I have already explained in my these points in the having clause in my last video. But for the union there is some point. So what is the points are there? Let me Control C, Control X, and Control V. The first point we have to make sure select list of the different select must have the same number of column. In this case, we have the same number of column because we are appending to the same table. That is the reason we have the same number of column. Not only the same number of column, the contain the compatible type, means the data type of the each column, each other should be compatible. Either it should be compatible or it should be same. In this case, all the data types are same because it's belong to same internal table, and it should be compatible. Name can be different, but the data type of this one, this all the tables, whatever the data type we are fetching, here I can fetch instead of this, this is currency, I can have another currency field, and that I can fetch from this table. But data type should be matched. And number data, since the currency data type always match, data type can be matched, it can be different field, and it should be having the same number of column and data type should be matched. In this case we have all the same number of column and the data type similar only. And second important thing, union are useful where the appending the same data, that already I have explained, we are doing here. So we have to make sure whenever we are using appending to the same internal table, then we have to think we can use union. Why to hit 2 time database? So how we can do? I already have the query, but let me write down again. Delete karo. Simple, we have to use union. Union. I want to do union with this data and this data and this data, and no need appending. Instead of appending, I have to use into table. Control Z, into table. Into table at the rate data I have to declare here. Data what is this? Delete, shift F1. So now we have one query only, and both the query result we are getting in this internal table. You can see. Now we will get the, let me clear out the console, Control F3, and now we are hitting the database only one time instead of hitting the 2 times. Let me do F9. You can see we got the same result. First with the important customer and other result with the other customer. So like that, we have segregated the data of the customer which are important and customer which are not important using the same select query. This is one query we are hitting the database instead of writing the separate queries. Two more important thing when we are doing the union, we can't use up to and rows here. It's not supported in SAP till now. If I try to use up to and rows, up to 10 rows or 100 rows like this, what it will tell, the SAP will tell like this: up to and rows cannot be currently used in union. Like that it will give us error. We can't use up to and rows, and apart from this, table buffer will be bypassed. There is two things over here. One is union all and distinct union. By default, whenever we write the union, it will work as a distinct values. So after combining these two result, the duplicate entries are there. If suppose same entry I am getting here and here, if that will be removed if I am using union distinct or union simply. By default, I am using union means it is union distinct. If I use union all, in that case what will happen? It will not remove the distinct value, it will not delete adjacent duplicate. Normally we will do sort and delete adjacent, we will do to remove the duplicate. In this case, when we use the union distinct, it will be happen already automatically. But when we use union all, it will, the duplicate entries will be not removed and both the entries will be displayed in the result. Let me show you one of the example. So I will quickly explain 2-3 example of union, so you can somehow you can see the things. So like that, again I already have one demo expression table. If you don't know, if this demo expression table SAP used in their demo programs, if I just want to show you quickly this table, in this table we have different kind of field. Out of these fields I will be going to use one numerical field and character field. That's it. And what I am doing, I am deleting whatever the data in the demo expression table and I am inserting one entry using the value operator. I created one internal table where I am using, sorry, not character field, one numerical field and one ID field I am using, and I inserted this entry in demo expression table. Now what I am doing, I am using two things, this above statement with union distinct and below statement with union all. I just want to explain how it will behave. In this case, we only have one entry in this table. Okay, in demo expression table, how many entries? Only one entry, where if you want to display this table, let me display this also, Control C. Okay, I have to select and then only I can display. Let me display. Anyway, we are displaying here using the distinct in union. So what we are doing, we are getting the ID and num1 field from the demo expression. Again, I am getting the same query and I am applying union distinct, or I can use simply union also, that also work like the union distinct only, and I am getting the result in the IT result set and I am displaying this result. Same query I have written, but instead of union distinct I use union all. So how the result will be, let me do F9 and see. I want to show you this result. The first result, since in this table we are having only one entry which we have inserted after deleting all the entries, that displayed X111. What it is happening, it got one entry from here and one entry from here, because the same data we are getting from the this tables, only one entry from the both the table. Since we applied union distinct over here, so it is deleting the duplicate entries and it displayed only finally one entry only. But in this case, union all, whenever we are doing, it is not deleting the say similar entries. It's just displayed as it is, whatever the got result from both the queries, and we are getting like that. If you don't use distincts also, let me delete, Control F3 and let me do F9, it will work same way. By default it is distinct only when we use the union. Let me do F9, same result we got. Okay, like that we can do. Let me explain some more examples so you can understand better union and union all. One another example, in this example, let me clear out the console. We are using, one is a SCAR table and one is SPFLI table. As you know from previous videos, SCAR table is having the carrier ID and carrier description. Let me show you this table quickly. So carrier ID and carrier name with the currency code and other detail. This is the SCAR table. Okay, let me close this one. This is not required. So what I am getting, let me open parallelly so we can see the data and so we can visualize here like this. Oh, set low. Okay, so I am getting the carrier name, means this carrier name from the SCAR table. Since there is no con ID, I am getting is a cast operation. Wait, I will again explain what is the cast expressions, and there is we are getting two literals as a city from and city to. These three data is not available in the SCAR table. I am just getting the carrier name And where is the carrier ID? This I can get from the selection screen, or based on our requirement we can do. We are passing the carrier ID as a LH, and we are getting the data from this table. So in this case, I think LH means we will get Lufthansa we will get. And once we got this data, what we are doing, we are union this data for Lufthansa flight. I am just displaying this Lufthansa, and again this, and below what I am displaying, the carrier name is this, then below the Lufthansa it will be this, and other detail we are displaying. What all are the detail for the Lufthansa flight? We are displaying as a what is the con ID, CT from and CT to, and wherever the carrier ID is LH, and I'm doing order by statement descending, and like that I'm displaying in final result. Let me show you the result. Let me go to console, how it is displayed, F9. So you can see the result is like this. So Lufthansa I displayed, then does this. So for the Lufthansa flight, what all are the detail that I am displaying below? Like that I can display other detail also. In this also I have used the union. This is one of the SAP demo example. I just want to show you some more example. That is the reason I have used this one. This kind of requirement also come. We want to do this kind of things. We want to display some header information and below some line item information. Like that also. This is the one way. This is not a convenient way, but this kind of requirement come, then we can do like this as well. And cast operation, the simple cast operation, this is the syntax for cast operation. We can write the cast bracket, and what data you want to cast. I want to cast this days, or you can mention anything over here, and in what type of value you want to cast. I want to convert this value to character value, and then I want to display. Suppose in the CONID case, if you go to the connection ID, this is a numerical type field. If you go and check what is the type of this field, this is num_c field. And then in this case, this field and this field both are not similar. As I told you, data type of both the fields should be similar, then only union will work. Otherwise, it will not work. So in this case, to make the data type similar, I converted into care for this also. Now the connection ID is num4, I have to convert into care4. I can do that thing. So I converted connection ID to care4. So what data type you can convert in what type of data, that you can see. Just you have to see, you have to click on cast and you have to do F1. It's simple. There is help is there. It's a very cast ABAP SQL operation, and you can I want to open parallelly. So you can see these are the so there is one table is there. You can see what data integer can be converted into integer, decimal. In these fields can be converted in these values. But most important integer can be converted in these all are the values, but integer can't be converted into num_c, into date and time. Like that we can see this from and to, from integer, and integer from and to means this integer. You can see integer can be converted into integer, but integer can't be converted into num_c, or date and time it can't be converted. Like the same way this table can help you, and we can use cast operation from that only. But if you try to convert in some other different data type, we can't convertible. It will simply give us a error. It can't be convertible. So like that you can try out yourself what can be converted, but how to convert, this is the cast expression. What value you want to convert, that you have to pass here. That can be any kind of SQL expression also you can use. And what data type you want to convert, I want to convert in care4, so I have passed as a care4. In between you have to pass is. So like that you can use the cast operations. This is one another. I didn't create a separate video. It's a very simple thing, but you have to make sure what can be converted into what, that you can see in that table. And last example I want to show you. This is again similar kind of example. Let me execute quickly so you understand quickly. Let me do this I can't use. In this I'm asking for the first carrier ID from the user, so I have to use F8, then only I can do this thing. And I'm entering the carrier ID over here, and I'm enter this one. Let me go to that example again. So this is this example. Okay, in this what I am doing is, you can see I pass the carrier ID as a. You can ask for any carrier ID from the user, and once you get that carrier ID, you are hitting the S flight table, and first field you are displaying as a space, and other detail we are getting from the S flight, means what is the carrier ID, what is the connection ID, what is the flight date, and what is the seat already allocated for that particular flight, already allocated. And I'm unioning this data I got from here to here, I got from this upper unioning this data with this data. I want to do total as well. So what I did for this particular care ID, connection ID and care ID, I did the total seat allocated till total seat allocated which we are getting. So what I did, date I passed because I can't pass date in the range because different dates are there. That is the reason I converted again character values to dates. Again, you will see in the cast operation you can easily convert the character into the as a dates, and I am displaying as a FL date, and total seat allocated I am displaying as a seat allocated. So like that I am displaying first line item entries and then I am displaying the total. This again one of the standard demo example. You will easily find out this demo example. You can search for the demo underscore union something, you can write in the control shift A and you can easily search this program, little bit modified to understand the, so we can easily understand like that result internal table I renamed or something, like some small thing I did, but it's again union only that we are doing and we are displaying the result like this kind of requirement you can do. These are the some few example is given in SAP standard documentation. So I try to explain, but one example I created from myself because we are using this particular example from the VBAK and VBAP from longer time, so we can easily relate. That is the reason I showed you that example as well. I hope you understand the union all from this video. Please before going to next video, please like this video, subscribe this channel and share these videos with others as well. It will give me huge motivation to create videos like this. With that, thank you and happy learning.